Welcome to the Rugby Obsession Deep Dive.
Great to be here.
We are talking World Cup finals today, redemption arcs, and, well, just the phenomenal journey of two teams who have absolutely earned their spot right on the biggest stage.
Couldn't agree more.
So, look, if you want more in-depth stuff on everything we cover, tactical breakdowns, player insights, all that, make sure you hit subscribe right now for Rugby Obsession.
Yeah, do that. Because our mission today is basically a shortcut for you, the listener. We're unpacking this huge stack of sources covering this, well, incredible Women's Rugby World Cup final, Canada versus England. We need to look beyond just the scores, analyze the really different ways they got here tactically.
Yeah, very different routes.
Highlight the key players who really made it happen for them, and then the big one, deliver the score prediction our analysts have landed on.
And what a stage for it. Twickenham, the absolute home of English rugby.
Doesn't get bigger.
And this final, it's historically massive because whoever wins, they'll be the first team, other than New Zealand, obviously, to lift that trophy since, what, 2014?
That's right, 2014. It puts the weight of history right there.
For sure. And the sources, they're already hammering this point. The atmosphere is going to be intense. They're specifically saying the crowd will be the 16th player.
Right, suggesting they could literally make the difference if it gets tight.
Which it probably will.
That environmental pressure, it's undeniable. But, to really get the psychological picture, we've got to start with the team that's arguably built the most dramatic momentum, Canada.
Okay, let's dive into Canada's route then. They came in ranked second in the world, right? And their campaign started with just sheer dominance.
Yeah.
They kicked off beating Fiji by nearly 60 points. Then they just clinically took apart Wales, didn't drop a single point. But here's something interesting. In that Wales match, our sources picked up on Canada conceding like 21 turnovers, which is a lot.
It is a lot.
Yeah.
And that's the fascinating bit, isn't it? It means their defense was just so good, it compensated for maybe a high-risk attack.
Right.
They were so overwhelming defensively, forcing turnovers themselves, shutting Wales down, that losing the ball 21 times.
Right.
Well, it just didn't matter strategically. I showed they were willing to take risks, trusting their scramble D to get the ball back fast and convert chances when they got them.
And that confidence, that tactical approach, it just seemed to build and build. Their quarterfinal against the Aussies, one analyst called it close to a complete performance.
Yeah, a huge 41-point win.
So what was the key there? What was the mechanism?
Okay, the mechanism was basically total forward pack dominance, described as utterly ruthless.
Ruthless.
And we're not just talking big hits. We're talking relentless, specific pressure, the tight five especially, just constant pressure at scrum time, blistering ruck speed.
So controlling the game up front.
Exactly. And that control meant Australia had to keep committing players centrally, defensively, which then naturally created acres of space out wide.
For Canada's outside backs, lethal.
Lethal is the word. That link between the forwards doing the hard yards and the backs finishing it off. That's why they look so dangerous.
And they carried that right into the semifinal, which, let's be honest, will probably go down as the moment Canada truly arrived on the global stage, beating the six-time champs, the Black Ferns.
Massive upset. Or was it?
Well, they played expansively out wide and just shocked New Zealand. Took a huge 17-point lead in the first 25 minutes.
Incredible start.
Our sources called it arguably their most complete performance of all time, winning 34-19 in the end.
And you have to remember the context here. The commentary kept mentioning Canada as, largely the crowd-funded team. It's a remarkable story.
Yeah, explain that a bit.
Well, it means many players don't have that full-time, centralized pro-contract setup like, say, the Red Roses have. Their success is built more on kind of personal sacrifice, community backing,
Right.
which just ramps up the emotional weight of every win, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And right at the heart of that gritty determination is their star, Sophie. She's only 26.
Phenomenal player.
An absolute powerhouse. So versatile back row, fly half if needed, and she's the highest female point scorer ever for Canada.
Ever. Think about that.
She's their kicker, obviously clinical. 58 points so far, 3 tries. Expected to finish as the tournament's top scorer, that's leading from the front.
Total performance leadership. And if you look back at that Black Ferns semi, the moment that really, as the source said, cemented the realization that Canada were going to be the aggressors, it came really early.
Which one?
It was that Asia Hogan-Rochester try. Remember? Got the ball high, left wing basically just palmed off Renee Holmes, who's highly rated.
Yeah, big fend.
Huge fend. and dived over in the corner. It looked like a perfect training ground move, apparently. Showed aggression, precision, attacking intent right from the whistle. Set the whole tone.
That momentum, you can almost feel it. Okay, let's switch gears. Let's talk about the hosts, the opponents, the Red Roses, world number 1. Coming to Twickenham on this huge redemption arc, right? After that 2022 final loss.
Absolutely. They came back this year with increased vigor and even higher expectations because they were that full-time professional outfit. Massive resources behind them.
And their pool stage reflected that. It was, well, demolition derby territory.
That's pretty much, yeah. Americans beaten by over 60, Samoa by almost 90 points, then Australia by 40. We've never really in doubt they'd cruise through the pool.
No dramas there. And the quarterfinal against Scotland, again, sources say no major challenge. It looked efficient, clinical, totally in control. But then the semifinal against France, that was the first time analysts noted a real test.
And this is where it gets interesting. Analytically, for, 70 minutes, England looked, well, pressured, maybe even a bit nervous, which maybe speaks to that weight of expectation.
Home crowd, number 1 tag.
Exactly. But what they proved in that game was maybe more valuable than just another dominant win. They showed they can squeeze out sides in those close contests.
We browned it out.
Yeah, they only really pulled away from the French in the last 10 minutes. So the question, maybe for you listening, is, was that championship resolve? Or was it a sign of maybe fragility that Canada could exploit?
Good question. And their ability to handle that pressure, it relies a lot on their leaders, doesn't it? Like Alex Matthews.
Huge player for them.
Yeah.
At 32, she's been around since 2011, 4 World Cups. But it's more than just experience with her.
What do the sources highlight?
They talk about her impressive work rate and professionalism, and how that translates directly into key defensive stats. Like, she's got one of the best jackling success rates in the whole tournament. Massive threat at the breakdown.
Disruptor.
Big time. Plus, she's often key in organizing the defensive line. Crucial in lineout calls, too. She's kind of the unsung leader keeping the engine running when things get tough.
Okay, the engine room. But if we're talking about flair, individual brilliance, especially in those tight moments, we have to talk about that semifinal try. 13 minutes left against France, game still kind of hanging there. Then Ellie Kildin steps up.
Oh, it was magnificent, wasn't it? She pounced on a Zoe Harrison kick like a deliberate attacking chip that bounced really awkwardly near the French 22.
Right, didn't quite go to hand.
No, but Kildun's brilliance just took over, gathered it, and then just drew on all that sevens experience,
Yeah, the pace, the feet.
Impressive turn of pace, agile. Stepped like 4 defenders from 50 meters out to score. That one try just seemed to break the French spirit, took the game away.
Wow.
It proved England also have those moments of just pure game-changing magic.
That's the kind of stuff that highlight real quality. It's exactly why we love the game. Okay, before we get into the crucial bit, the psychology, the final prediction, just want to pause and encourage you, again, the listener, if you're enjoying this deep dive.
Which we hope you are.
Make sure you subscribe right now to Rugby Obsession. We really try to bring this level of insight every single time.
Definitely. So we've set up these 2 really fundamentally different stories heading into the final, haven't we? Canada's most complete performance ever. England's slightly nervous semi-win.
Yeah.
If you had to pick, listening in, which route impresses you more, and which mental state do you think is, well, more dangerous heading into a final? Because the sources, they definitely lean into this feeling that an upset feels more possible here than maybe any final in the last decade.
The contrast psychologically, it's stark, isn't it? Canada's got that excitement, that momentum, the crowd-funded underdogs, as you said.
Yeah.
They've got very little to lose, realistically, and everything to gain. 80 minutes from their first ever World Cup.
History beckons.
Whereas England, they've got immense pressure. Crushing pressure, maybe? World number 1, playing at home, the whole rugby world almost expecting a result.
And that memory.
And the memory of that 2022 final loss hanging over them. Analysts mention that expectation plus the history, it could spell a nervous disaster for them early on.
That anxiety, it's definitely a real factor. And Canada look assured, don't they?
Right.
Built on that forward power, creating space, backs, exploiting it. That gives them the emotional edge going in.
I bet.
But we got to come back to that critical counterbalance we mentioned right at the start.
The home advantage. Twickenham.
Twickenham. That crowd is the multiplier effect. Canada might look mentally stronger on paper, but that home crowd, It really could make the difference if the scores stay close.
Yeah.
Especially after, say, 60 minutes.
Yeah, that roar.
That intense roaring support, it's designed to just blow away any early English nerves, replace it with pure adrenaline, help them overcome any wobbles they showed against France.
Okay, so crunch time. We've looked at the momentum, the pressure, the key tactics, the venue. What's the specific final prediction our sources are giving us for this massive final?
Okay, the consensus expectation is for a really tight, high-intensity battle. The prediction anticipates Canada leading, possibly at various stages, thanks to that superb forward pack and the psychological edge they carry in.
Makes sense.
However, the Red Roses' sheer professionalism, combined with that massive lift from the Twickenham crowd in the final quarter, is expected to see them pull ahead late.
So England finishing strong.
Analysts predict a strong final 10 minutes for England, yeah. The exact final score prediction landing on Canada 23-31 England.
Wow. Okay, an 8-point margin. So suggesting a really hard-fought contest decided maybe by composure and that Twickenham roar in the end.
That's the analysis, yeah. It promises to be an absolutely extraordinary final either way.
It really does.
And, thinking a bit broader, connecting this final to the wider context, what does it tell us? The fact you have a largely crowd-funded team playing the fully professional Red Roses in the final. But the future of the women's game.
Interesting point.
This final, it kind of perfectly encapsulates the transition the game's in, doesn't it? Passion, community spirit, grit, meeting centralized, high-level professionalism. The whole story of this final. It speaks volumes about the global growth, but also maybe the investment still needed in women's rugby worldwide.
That's a really powerful and very relevant closing thought for everyone listening to chew on. Whether we see Canada make history with their first silverware or England find that hard-fought redemption, this final is just the absolute peak of the sport right now.
Absolutely. And if you enjoy diving deep into this historic matchup and maybe you want to share your own thoughts on the prediction, agree, disagree, please make sure you subscribe to Rugby Obsession for all our ongoing analysis.
We will definitely catch you next time.
Thank you for listening to the Rugby Obsession Deep Dive, and we'll look forward to you listening to our next episode.